Hi guys, welcome back to another Toaster video. Today I'm just going to be ranking all the classes in Vesteria because I haven't seen anyone do it in a long time and I have a pretty good understanding of the game since I'm like a tester and I own the Trickster guide on the Vesteria Discord server, and I've talked to many community members about where I should rank these and what their opinions are. So I have S tier, which means that they're basically good at everything. A tier, which means they're good at a lot of things, but maybe not as much as the S tier. B tier, maybe they're good at one thing, or maybe they're really good across like a few select niche options, or they're mid at everything. C tier, they're like below average, like there's not much you would really do with them. They're good, but not like amazing. D tier is like really bad, and F tier, you're just like, you never even think about staying this class or going this class. And this tier is reserved mostly just for the Shadowmancers because I can't leak anything. Oh, and the Painter subclass. I can't leak anything, and these classes have not been released yet, and that's basically it. Let's get to it. So, starting with Assassin. I'd say Assassin goes in the C tier right now. Unfortunately, Assassin got hit with a lot of nerfs, and now it's not really the greatest. Even after it wasn't really good, they hit it with a stamina regen nerf on their Shadow Walk, which really took down Assassin a notch. It already was kind of falling behind in damage. It's supposed to be this bursty class, but other classes like Berserker can completely out DPS it. There's no real reason why you would go Assassin right now. It's still really good at mobility, and you can see it in PvP sometimes, so it still has its place. That's why it's not like D tier or anything. But in PvP, it's okay, and PvE, it's pretty bad at this point. No reason to go it. Bard, I'd say Bard either goes in A tier or high B tier, because Bard is really good at being a support class. Its resonance really gives a lot of support to its teammates, but it's only really good in PvP. In PvE, it's not the greatest right now. It used to be really good at one point, but it got hit with a lot of nerfs. So you would rather just use Bard for PvE as like a supporting unit, but Songweaver is better for supporting your teammates in PvE. So it's really PvP based because Lullaby can stun your opponents for a long period of time, and that's a really good thing to have on a team. Other than that, it's not great, so that's why it's in B tier. Berserker straight to S tier. Berserker does an insane amount of DPS, it has a lifesteal mechanic, it has lots of health. Even if you use like the gladiator armor, it's still going to be so tanky. Like, it's a knight that does a lot of damage, and not to mention, if you have a lot of ability radius on it, or just have a Dragon Slayer sword, it will be able to destroy a lot of people in PvP. There's no real reason not to use Berserker at the moment, other than maybe it not having that much range. But with all the nerfs to other classes and buffs to Berserker, it's basically what Assassin used to be, but so much better and actually can stand for itself. Cleric, I'd give it A tier. Cleric is very good at being a support. You always want a Cleric on a dungeon run, unless you're like super skilled at the game, because Clerics can revive you, and it's a very unique feature that they have. They can also have a bit of support, but they're not as well known for that. But they have lots of AoE, they have lots of damage. They're always this very good class that you want. You always want to have a Cleric on your team, or you just want to have a Cleric around, or you can be the Cleric. Hunter, it's just a base class. I'd say either goes at the bottom of the D tier or top of the F tier. Hunter can be used because it has a lot of mobility and the moves are actually not that bad, but it's not the strongest at the moment, mainly because like the other base classes like Mage and Warrior, they're kind of okay. Mage's main drawback is that it uses a lot of mana, and Warrior is just you never really use much of its moves. It's really strong at close range, but not as strong or even close to as strong as many of its upgraded classes. It does so little damage. So I'd say Hunter's probably top of F tier, then Warrior's in the bottom of the F tier, and you could probably argue with me for Mage being with Hunter or below Hunter. Knight. I'd say Knight could go at the bottom of B tier. Knight is really good at one thing and one thing only, as that of course is tanking. But the problem is Berserker can tank as much as Knight can. Especially if Berserker is like doing damage already. It's really good in PvP, so that's why it's not being in the C tier or anything. And it's really good at getting contribution through taking damage, but its dealing damage is not really good. It's kind of atrocious. You'd rather use something like Regen Paladin or something else that can really dish damage while not sacrificing too much bulk. Paladin, I'd probably put it in B tier too, probably behind Bard. The thing with Paladin is that after the nerfs, it's not extremely good in PvP, but it's still okay in PvP, and it's okay in PvE. It's like okay in everything, if you know what I mean. For PvE, it has nice AoE, but struggles in doing sustained DPS, and after the Malik and Barrel Hammer changes, it's just not the strongest in PvP anymore. Of course, you could always run Regeneration Paladin, which means you would like basically never die. But it's still not the strongest, and you won't be getting much value out of it unless you're just a PvP focused person. Ranger, I'd have to put it in another B tier. Probably maybe above Knight. The thing with Ranger is that for PvP, its real only viability is that if you're using Hail of Arrows in a wide AoE spread. But even then, it's not that great. You can see people like MG Gamers that likes to use Spider Leg Bow to slow down opponents, but it's still not the greatest. It's so squishy and weak in PvP. But PvE is really where it shines. It probably has either the highest or one of the highest DPSs for out of basically all the classes. It's probably on par, if not better, than Berserker, because of how many things it has right now, like the Icicle. You of course could run Quantum, Forgotten, Incisor. Like, there's so many good bows and daggers it has, and there's so much versatility. And especially with the coming up Ranger rework, it's probably going to be really good anyways. So it'd be recommended to build a Ranger. So you could probably put it in front of Paladin here. But it's just really bad in PvP. And for mob AoE killing, it's not that great. So that's why it's in B tier. It's really good at boss killing, not much else. Sorcerer, I'd put it in the S tier. With the Ankh not working 100% properly. It's not quite at its full strength. If Ankh was working properly, it'd probably be ahead of Berserker. But right now, Sorcerer is probably in the S tier. It just does a lot of damage, it does a lot of AoE. You can use it in PvP, you can use it in PvE, boss killing, everywhere. It's not even skilled anymore after they kind of removed that skill cap from it, where you don't even have to order your moves properly anymore. You just have to spam non-mage move, then mage move, then non-mage move, then mage move, and you kind of just do the most DPS there. Its root is really strong for PvP. You can just stop people from moving and then you kill them. Yeah, that's probably where Strangers it goes. S tier. Trickster. I'd probably say Trickster is at the top of B tier. It kind of defines what B tier is in a way, if you kind of get what I mean. It's really good at PvP, but not overly good at it. It's good in everything, but not the best. It's not as good as the classes that are specifically spec'd into those types of works. But if you want a class that can do everything pretty well, Trickster's good, and plus of course it has range. And traps are really fun to play around with, and there's many combos you can do with Trickster that you can like paralyze your opponent, stuff like that. So it's going to be like basically the epitome of the B tier, maybe bottom of A tier, but that's a bit stretching it. Warlock, I'd argue S tier. Maybe above or below Cleric. I'd probably say I would put it above Cleric in the meanwhile, because it itself can basically never die. In a Talray run, if the damage check is already over, its lifesteal and HP is so strong and so big that you can basically never die with it. And it does a lot of damage as well, and it's really good for luring. It's the best class for taking out AoE mobs, and it has really good single target damage, and it's basically invincible. It's basically a knight, but better, and it has ranged attacks. The only downside to it is that it does do a lot of damage, but it doesn't do as much damage as these two classes up here. It's still better than Sorcerer for AoE, but it's held back by the fact that its class is really dependent on healing, and it has a lot of health, so it's not really doing as much DPS as a Sorcerer. But if you're luring, or you just want to have a class that's like generally okay, then go for it. It's also not the best in PvP. It's strong, but not as good as I would say Trickster. Mostly because it's very easy to see the Warlock moves, and they don't have a lot of moves that can catch you by surprise or do lots of burst damage. They like to drain your health over a long time slowly, so people can get out of the way quicker. And final class on the list, I'd say Sorcerer. Oh, I mean Songweaver. Songweaver is probably going to go right behind Bard. Songweaver is very good specifically at healing and shielding and not much else. That's basically what its entire kit is about. It's just healing and shielding. It's like Bard, but Bard can do a little bit of DPS. Source, like, it just does no damage. It does damage, it's not like Knight, but it doesn't do comparable damage to most of these top higher 6 classes. But if you are a person that really likes to help out their friends, just sit back and heal and shield them and get your contribution that way, Sorcerer can be the class for you. It's also useful to have in a dungeon run, but I would say I prefer a Cleric since they can revive you completely. And other mages can become like a Songweaver by using the Grove Tree branch, which transforms their Thunder Call into Energizer, which heals and basically does everything a Sorcerer, I mean a Songweaver, I don't know why I keep on getting mixed up, can do. And it's good in PvP, but it's not as strong as the other classes, because even if it gives you the shield, the Sorcerer by itself, the Songweaver by itself can get bursted down by other classes, and then all your teammates are kind of left alone without another teammate, and you don't really do much. Anyways, Adventurer is probably not even on this list. I'd say it goes in the F tier just because it's basically the most basic out of all of these without any of the moves. And yeah, that's about it. I'm going to make guides on all of these classes, so you might want to stay tuned and watch. But if not, this is probably going to be your tier list for the new year. Toaster signing out.